Something serious is unfolding right now in the Middle East, and it's not just another conflict. This is a fast-moving situation that is already shaking global energy markets, drawing in world powers, and raising fears of a much larger war. Iran has launched a new wave of attacks, this time targeting key energy sites across the Gulf. Oil facilities, gas infrastructure, and critical supply routes have all come under fire. And almost immediately, Israel responded with strikes of its own. What makes this even more intense is the timing. These attacks are happening during Nowruz, the Persian New Year, a moment that is usually marked by celebration, renewal, and peace. Instead, the region is witnessing explosions, rising tensions, and growing uncertainty. And the impact is being felt worldwide. As soon as these energy sites were hit, oil prices surged. Markets reacted instantly. Investors grew nervous. And governments around the world began preparing for possible economic consequences. Because when energy supply is threatened, everything changes. Fuel prices rise, transportation costs increase, and everyday life becomes more expensive. But that's just one side of the story. Behind the scenes, the military situation is escalating quickly. The United States is now moving more forces into the region. Thousands of Marines and sailors are being deployed, with a major unit expected to leave soon. This is not a small move. It signals that Washington is preparing for a situation that could grow even more dangerous. At the same time, President Donald Trump has made one thing clear: he is not sending ground troops into Iran. That statement may sound reassuring to some, but it also raises questions. If the U.S. is increasing its military presence, but not committing ground forces, what exactly is the strategy? Meanwhile, Israel is continuing its operations, targeting key Iranian positions. One of the most significant strikes hit a major gas field, an important part of Iran's energy system. Iran responded quickly. Missiles were launched, and retaliatory strikes hit not only Israel but also energy facilities in other parts of the Gulf, including critical infrastructure linked to global supply chains. This back-and-forth exchange is becoming more intense by the day. And now, there are warnings coming from the highest levels. Iran's new supreme leader has issued a strong message, saying that security must be taken away from the country's enemies. It's a statement that suggests the conflict is far from over, and may even expand. On the other side, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has indicated that some attacks may be paused, especially after pressure from the United States. But even with that pause, the situation remains unstable. Because once a conflict reaches this level, controlling it becomes much harder. And then comes another major concern: the possibility of war crimes. The United Nations Secretary General has warned that attacks on energy infrastructure could cross a dangerous line. If proven, such actions could be considered violations of international law. That adds another layer of tension, not just military, but legal and political as well. Meanwhile, the human cost continues to rise. More than 2,000 people have already lost their lives across the region. In Iran alone, over 1,200 deaths have been reported following strikes. In Lebanon, more than 1,000 people have been killed, and over 1 million have been displaced. In Israel, casualties have also been recorded. And the United States has lost service members as well, with families now grieving loved ones who were caught in the conflict. And even here, there is controversy. One father of a fallen U.S. soldier has come forward to challenge statements made by officials. He says he never told leaders to finish the job, contradicting claims that military families are pushing for escalation. That moment highlights just how complex and emotional this situation has become. This is no longer just about strategy or politics. It is about real people, real losses, and real consequences. At the same time, the conflict is spreading beyond its original borders. In Lebanon, fears are growing that a full-scale invasion could happen. More troops, more strikes, and more displacement could follow. In Syria, new targets have already been hit. And across the region, countries are on high alert. Even global diplomacy is being affected. Peace talks related to other conflicts, including the war in Ukraine, were paused because attention shifted to the Middle East. Now, efforts are being made to restart those discussions, but the growing crisis is making everything more complicated. And then there's the economic side. Energy markets are experiencing extreme volatility. Oil prices have been rising sharply, then dropping slightly, only to surge again depending on the latest developments. Experts are now advising people and governments to prepare for higher costs. Some are even suggesting changes like working from home or reducing travel to deal with the impact of rising fuel prices. This shows just how far-reaching this conflict has become. It is no longer limited to one region. It is affecting economies, politics, and daily life across the globe. And perhaps the most worrying part is this: there is no clear end in sight. Both sides are showing strength. Both sides are making bold moves. And neither side appears ready to step back completely. So the world watches, waiting, hoping that the situation does not spiral further out of control. Because if energy supplies continue to be targeted, if more countries become involved, and if tensions keep rising, this could turn into something much bigger than anyone expected. So now the question is, are we witnessing the beginning of a wider global crisis, or is there still a chance to stop this conflict before it goes too far?